Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 24th of August and welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So guys, we got little bit late today as I was not feeling well since yesterday. So guys, in the today's video we are going to take the entire analysis of the Hindu newspaper. The articles will be taken along with the background as well as the way forward. And guys, meanwhile I would like to tell you that you can download this explainer PDF from the Telegram channel. In this particular PDF you will be finding all the notes of the articles that I am going to use here, so you can follow it along with the video. The link for the Telegram channel has been given in the description box. Now guys, let's start. First of all, let's take the overview of the entire newspaper so that we can understand that which articles are going to be important for our examination. So here I have the Delhi edition. This is the page number 1 of the Hindu newspaper. First article, Adani Group makes bid to take over the NDTV. So guys, here the NDTV news channel is Adani Group wants to take over the article is not important for your UPSC examination. Then the political article is not important. Supreme Court may hear plea against the remission in the Bilkis case. Now guys, this particular issue has become a politicized one, so the political dimension is not important. However, with respect to the academics, find the remission policy and all those things we'll see. And there is one more article in the editorial, so we'll see there also. Then guys, the remarks on profit, BJP suspends MLA. Okay, after that government amends Supreme Court judge rules. Now guys, this particular article is not important for the examination. It is talking about that the type 7 accommodation in Delhi will be given, okay, and all those things. So accommodation rules etc are there, so not important for the UPSC examination, no need to go here. Then guys, moving on, UGC chairman bats for machine based admission test. Okay, then guys, in the city section, the regional issue, the political issue, the controversy onto the Delhi's excise policy and the different political parties, what they are saying is going on. No need to read it for our examination. Then the tenders etc, advertisements etc that are there, nothing is important in this particular direction. Okay, so guys, we'll be reaching to the editorial page. Till the editorial page, much relevant substance is not there. Now in the editorial page, the first article, the case of missing scientific Indian. We'll see this particular article with respect to the exam. Then the implication of the 5G rollout for the law enforcement. So there's a good article, a good dimension has been given with respect to the exam. We'll see this article. Then reviewing remission. So guys, recently the remission of 11 of the convicts have been given. So in that capacity, there are certain issues that had come. We'll see that particular article also here. Then moving on, sporting trouble. So guys, yesterday we have seen this particular article a lot in the detail, that what happened. All India Football Federation was banned by the FIFA. Why it was banned by the FIFA? Because the Supreme Court appointed a committee of administrators for overseeing the governance into the All India Football Federation. Clear? The Supreme Court provided this particular thing, that the earlier governing body of the AIFF, it has overstayed their tenure. So therefore, a committee of administrators was appointed by the Supreme Court. That particular thing was called as a third party interference by the FIFA, and FIFA banned the AIFF. Now guys, this particular year we are hosting the Women's World Cup under 17. So that particular issue came. Okay, so that thing is being explained. However, much important substance is not there in this particular article also. Okay, then guys, moving on, are freebies a way to mask state inaction? We'll see this particular article. BJP's nationalism and the opposition predicament, not important for the UPSC. Then coming to the text and the context page, reinvigorating the Chahabar Port. So guys, with respect to the Chahabar Port, their strategic dimension, all these things we'll be seeing. And even along with the Chahabar Port, the INSTC International North-South Transit Corridor, that we'll see that also. Then moving on, Chinese tech firms under wider scrutiny in India. So guys, basically the Huawei has recently declared that they will be diluting, or they will be winding down their research and development in India. Now guys, into the past there have been the several of the Chinese firms such as the ZTE, Vivo, Xiaomi, Oppo, Huawei. Okay, now on them basically the government has carried the search operations. Now this article is talking about that, okay, which firm, okay, duty evasion they have done and all these kind of things have been done. Okay, so that particular thing is provided. Now guys, understand, you don't need to understand that how much crore rupees tax evasion done by the Vivo, how much done by that company or all that, or what is the scale of their operations. For UPSC, the article doesn't contain much of the relevant substance. However, on the next page, Acculturation, this is a good article, and with respect to the GS paper number 1 society, there is some very good concepts that have been provided here. So this is the article we'll read in detail. Then coming back, IAF sacks 3 officers in the missile firing test. So guys, a few months back there was a misfire of the missile. A missile mistakenly landed in the Pakistan. So in that capacity, 3 of the officers have been sacked. Fine. Now for exam, no need to go in this particular article. All on side, everybody wants freebie. So this freebie issue is going on. We'll see this particular article along with one of the article that has been there into the editorial section. So we'll see this article. After that, statute bench for the Sena case, not important article for examination. Now this article is important. Sex ratio at birth normalizes slightly study. So guys, with respect to the gender, issues, with respect to the developmental indicators, we'll see this particular article. Technology companies wary of law on digital competition, good article again with respect to the competition in India. We'll see this particular article also. Then guys, moving on. Center forced Twitter to put agents on payroll. Okay, basically the agents who have been kept on the payroll, that list is being asked by the center. Congress launches tagline logo of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So Knit India Bharat Jodo, this is a campaign that the Congress is taken and says that they are against the divisive policies and all those things. Government organizes meet to iron out the differences on the labor codes. So guys, government last year had finalized the four labor codes which will replace the labor laws in India. Now when we talk about the labor as a subject is mentioned into the concurrent list, meaning that both the center and the state can make law on the subject of labor, and we have seen that there are more than 40 laws onto the subject of labor. All of them got amalgamated and the four labor codes came in existence, but they have not been liked. Okay, there are many of the shortcomings as provided by the opposing members. So on that meet was organized. Then guys, these tenders etc. not important. Okay, tensions mars a mission at Tiangong. Okay, so basically guys, with respect to the Chinese space mission, this particular article is talking that okay, the Tiangong on that particular thing, the article has been carried. Binami law can't be applied retrospectively. So Supreme Court has given a judgment, a very important judgment with respect to the Binami law. We'll understand this particular thing. Then Imran Khan summoned in contempt case, not important. Fine. Iran drops some of its key demands for nuclear pact. So basically the joint comprehensive plan of action, fine, under which the Iran basically, which was signed by the Iran few years back, that particular thing is being discussed. We'll see this particular article along with one of the article that is already there. Then moving on, Taiwanese resolve to defend island can't be shaken, Sai. Okay, so with respect to the last week incident when the US speaker Nancy Pelosi visited the Taiwan, after then the China has become very much frustrated and Taiwan is asserting their sovereignty again and again. Trade gap to taper, goods may hit $480 billion exports. Okay, trade gap to taper. Now guys, basically what has happened, the trade deficit has increased. What it means? It means that over the years what has happened, we are importing more but our exports have been less, and because we are importing more, our exports are less, the trade deficit has increased, but now it will taper because we are looking for more exports. This is a positive thing. Commerce Department being rejigged to make future ready. So basically the Commerce Department, the ministry, what are the challenges they are thinking on that particular thing so that the future challenges can be met up. Economists expect Q1 GDP growth at 13 to 15.7%. So this is an estimate that has been given by the However guys, see, these estimates, they are not to be remembered too much. Why? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of subjectivity into these estimates. Moreover, they are revised very frequently. Rating agency flags Adani Group as deeply over leveraged. Okay, so basically guys, it has been seen into the past few months that Adani Group has taken a lot of loan. Okay, so on that particular thing, it has been flagged. Then guys, rupees worries. Okay, rupees decline is being discussed. SpiceJet. So these corporate issues are not important for the examination. That is all guys about this particular article. And then we have the sports page. And now guys, let's discuss all these relevant articles one by one in the detail. Okay guys, one query I want to address, and this particular doubt comes very frequently. Download option for the videos. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that as we are streaming this particular video live, the download button is enabled from our side, but the YouTube provides that particular thing after the YouTube processes the video. So that thing happens for every video. Once it is processed, after that the download button comes there. Clear? So from our side it is not switched off, it is on. So YouTube will be providing it. Fine. If you'll go back, you'll find that the old videos, there is already a download option which is there. So it comes from YouTube side. Now starting up with the discussion, first article. Now guys, every class I start with the GS quotation. So today we'll be going to take the quotation from the Albert Schweitzer. So Albert Schweitzer has given a very beautiful definition of ethics. He says ethics is the activity of man directed to secure the inner perfection of his personality. So ethics is the activity of man to secure activity of man directed to secure the inner perfection of his personality. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that the human has many flaws, human has many limitations, human many a times are very much prone that they can be carried in line with the temptations, greed, desires, all these kind of things. So these temptation, greed, desires, what they do, they make the human personality imperfect. But the ethics is an activity which can again bring this perfection back into the human personality. So ethics, it is a way of bringing the perfection in human personality. So guys, this is as how the ethics can be explained. Now this particular quotation will be very much important for the GS paper number 4 ethics. So GS paper number 4 ethics, topic number 1 ethics and the human interface, there directly we can use this particular idea. So please note it down, very important quotation for your ethics GS paper number 4. Now guys, let's start and let's discuss the first article. So the first article, this is the article from the text and the context page, reinvigorating the Chahabar Port. So guys, this particular article will be important in GS paper number 2. GS paper number 2, fine. India's international relations. So India-Iran relation, we'll see this particular article. Moreover guys, this article also have one strategic dimension involved in that. So India's strategic policies overseas, there also we'll see this particular article. Now guys, before going in this particular article, I would like to tell you some of a background, and after understanding this particular background, we will be going in this particular article in more detail. Now just please, first of all, let's focus on this particular picture here. So guys, here we have India, here there is Pakistan, here there is Iran, then there is Afghanistan, Now guys, understand this particular thing. First of all, when we talk about India's neighborhood first policy, India aims to make the cordial relation with all the neighbors, and in that capacity, Afghanistan also happens to be an important neighbor for India. Now guys, the Afghanistan, basically after 2001, we started to normalize the relations with the Afghanistan when the Taliban, earlier also from 1996 to 2001, Taliban has ruled in the Afghanistan. So when the Taliban gave up their power, since 2001, we again started to make cordial relation with the Afghanistan. Now guys, we have a very special interest in the stability of Afghanistan. What is that special interest? Guys, understand this particular thing, that the Afghanistan has always been a fertile ground for the terrorism, and if actually the terrorism will increase into the Afghanistan, the spillover effects will come in the Jammu and Kashmir of India. So in order to keep Jammu and Kashmir secured, keep Jammu and Kashmir intact, we need to make sure that the Afghanistan develops. Afghanistan is a stable nation. Now guys, in that capacity, when we want to reach Afghanistan, there is one particular problem. The problem is that we don't have the direct accessibility to the Afghanistan. Why? Because a part of our Jammu and Kashmir has been illegally occupied, illegally captured by the Pakistan. So direct accessibility with Afghanistan is not there. So therefore guys, earlier what was happening, if India wanted to reach Afghanistan, India was dependent on the Pakistan. Through the Pakistan we were going to the Afghanistan. But actually with the Pakistan, our relations have not been very much good in the past. So basically there was a proposal that okay, how to reach Afghanistan very directly. Now guys, in this particular direction, India has taken certain strategic steps in the past. Okay, that is one particular thing. First of all, let's understand this particular thing. So guys, what happened actually in 2003, for the first time, the government of India under the Prime Minister of Vajpayee ji signed an agreement with the Iran, and it was proposed that a port will be developed in the Iran, that is the Chahabar Port. So you can see onto this particular picture, this particular Chahabar Port will be developed in the Iran. Now guys, the idea is that, I'll tell you that what was the idea. Idea is that we will develop this Chahabar Port. So basically from the Kandla, which is in Gujarat, fine, we can have a route till the Chahabar Port. Then guys, after that it was provided that a railway line will be constructed here, which will be connected till the Zehdan. Okay. Then after that, what has happened? There was a road. There was a kind of a road line that was to be constructed, and through that we can get the accessibility into the Afghanistan. Moreover, guys, after that, from here we can directly enter into the Central Asian countries also. Okay, so this was the master plan that was decided way back in 2003. So basically, what happened? First of all, an agreement was signed with the Iran in order to construct the Chabahar port. After that, guys, later words, what happened? A particular road network was also constructed, that is the Zaranj Deleram road. Zaranj Deleram road. Now, what was this Zaranj Deleram road? Zaranj Deleram road was this one. Okay, just you can please focus on the picture. So basically the Zaranj Deleram road provided the road connectivity from the Iran, from the boundary of Iran, from the border of Iran till the Afghanistan. Okay, so this was basically the master plan. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about this particular Chabahar Port project, this Chabahar Port project was important at many other multiple fronts also. I'll be talking about that particular thing in few minutes. So basically, this was the idea that got initiated earlier in way back in 2003. So guys, in 2003, the first agreement onto the Chabahar Port was signed, and over the period, the Chabaar Port, it has developed into the multiple objectives are there. First of all, first objective of Chabaar Port is that it will provide an India's offshore port and will project India's infrastructure prowess in the Gulf region. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that when we are constructing the Chabaar Port into the Iran, so this particular entire region, we will get an infrastructure connectivity, and that infrastructure connectivity is very much important for the India, because guys, when we talk about the Middle Eastern region, India is dependent onto the region for the oil imports, Moreover, this particular region is a market for Indian exports also. Why? Because guys, India exports the machineries, India exports the capital goods, so this particular region is very much important. So the infrastructural connectivity will be provided, number one. Number two, so infrastructural connectivity was provided. Okay. Number two, by this particular route, we were able to circumvent the Pakistan. Now we don't need the Pakistan. We don't need the Pakistan to reach Afghanistan. We don't need Pakistan to reach to the Central Asia. So the Pakistan was completely circumvented by this particular project. Is it clear or not? Then guys, the third benefit of this Chabaar Port that was there, it was that basically what we can do, basically a long-term sustainable sea route was given to the India. Okay, and already I have told you that this particular Zaranj Deleram road that we constructed, this Zaranj Deleram road onwards provided the connectivity to the Central Asian countries also. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that along with the Chabaar Port, there is one more project that is coming, and now we will connect the Chabaar Port as well as this another project together. So listen very carefully. Listen. Basically, now when you talk about the India, Russia happens to be a very important partner for India. So here's India and here is Russia. Now earlier when we were doing any kind of a trade with the Russia, what was the traditional route of trade? Traditional route was this, that will be going to Mumbai. Okay, then from Mumbai will be reaching to the Gulf of Aden. Okay, then from Gulf of Aden, okay, will be reaching to the Red Sea, then from the Suez, Mediterranean Sea. Okay, from there then we will be going to the Russia, St. Petersburg. This was the traditional route as how India was going to the Russia. So the Russian connectivity, okay, earlier route, it used to take 40 to 60 days to reach there. Fine. Now guys, one alternative plan was taken by the India, by the Iran, by the Russia and all the member countries. We decided that okay, we will be coming out with another alternative. What is the alternative? International North-South Transport Corridor. International North-South Transport Corridor. So this International North-South Transport Corridor will directly provide, now please focus on this picture. So it will directly provide a connectivity till the India, okay, at this particular, through this particular route. Okay, so from through this particular route we can provide the connectivity. Now guys, in this particular thing the infrastructure was to be developed, and from so many of the years the Russia, the countries of Central Asia, the Iran, India, they are working on this international north-south transport corridor. So you can just see that how this international north-south transport corridor will be giving a connectivity. So just please focus on this particular map. So there is St. Petersburg, Moscow, Volgograd, Astrakhan, okay, then after that the Tehran, okay, then Bandar Abbas. Now when we talk about the Bandar Abbas, it is a port. Bandar Abbas, it is again a port into the Iran, okay, and through the Bandar Abbas connectivity will be provided. Is it clear or not? Now when you talk about the Bandar Abbas, okay, in between we also have the Caspian Sea. So Bandar Abbas, now fine, so just few hundred kilometers away from Bandar Abbas there is the Chahabar Port. Now what is happening? Bandar Abbas Port, Chahabar Port, they are very much close in the vicinity. So basically what India is doing by developing the Chahabar Port, we can reach the Bandar Abbas, and through the Bandar Abbas we can use the international north-south transport corridor, and by this international north-south transport corridor what can happen? We can then further go to the Russia. So therefore this particular entire ecosystem is very much important from the geostrategic angle for the India. So guys, understand this entire geostrategic ecosystem. Okay, again I'll just be highlighting here so that you can develop a better understanding. So you have the Bandar Abbas Port, then you have the Chahabar Port. Okay, so the Chahabar Port, if we developed, we will be very much be getting the accessibility. From here we can reach to Afghanistan. From here we can reach to the Afghanistan. From here we can reach to the Russia. Now guys, understand one more dimension I want to tell you. So can you see in the picture there is the Guadar Port. Now when we talk about this particular Guadar Port, this is the port in the Pakistan, and the Guadar Port is being developed. This Guadar Port is being developed by the China. Now guys, China is sponsoring a very big project. You might have heard the name of the Belt and Road Initiative. Now in the Belt and Road Initiative, China is trying to connect the China with the Central Asia and then with the Europe, Eurasia, Central Asia. China wants to connect itself. Now within the Belt and Road Initiative, there is one particular project, that is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now when we talk about the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, this particular corridor provides a lot of, basically connects this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. It connects the Xinjiang region of China and Pakistan. It connects the Xinjiang region of China and Pakistan. So basically the Xinjiang region and Pakistan, it will be connected through this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will be culminating here at the Guadar Port. So the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will go something like this. Please see the red pen. Now guys, when this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is there, India doesn't approve this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Why? Because of a reason that this China-Pakistan Corridor passes from the Jammu and Kashmir region. Now guys, this territory of Jammu and Kashmir, it is the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Though Pakistan has acquired it illegally, but actually it belongs to the India. So we don't approve this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. We don't even approve the Belt and the Road Initiative. Moreover guys, understand this particular thing, that deliberately the China is developing this particular Guadar Port. Why? Because China has one strategy, that is the string of pearls. In this string of pearls strategy, China want to encircle India from all the side. Guys, we have already seen, I have told you into the earlier videos also, while we were discussing Sri Lanka, that the Hambantota port in the Sri Lanka has been taken on a 99-year lease by the China. So Hambantota port in China, then in the Myanmar it is developing the favorable infrastructure. With the Bangladesh it is signing the agreement, and now Guadar Port is there in the Pakistan. So what is happening? Basically the China, it is trying to encircle India from all the sides. Okay, now basically as a counter to Guadar Port, the Guadar Port, fine, we are developing this particular Chahabar Port. Okay, so this is a counter or India's response also. So basically the Guadar Port also has one strategic element. Now guys, and with the coming of the INSTC, that is the International North-South Transit Corridor, which I have explained you just here, a kind of a international transit point Chahabar Port can emerge. So these are all the dimensions of the Chahabar Port. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that particularly the Central Asian region, we don't have any connectivity with the Central Asian, direct connectivity with the Central Asian region, but at the end of the day, Central Asia is a very big market for India, and for the Central Asia, we also are running one particular policy. We call it as a connect Central Asia policy. Connect Central Asia policy. Now this India's Connect Central Asia policy will also be getting fulfilled by the INSTC, International North-South Transit Corridor, and the Chahabar Port. So therefore guys, the Chahabar Port happens to be a very important intervention for India. Now guys, even recently the government has provided that the Shahid Beshti Port. Now guys, understand one particular thing, you don't need to get confused. The Chahabar Port is also called as the Shahid Beshti Port. Okay, so the Chahabar Port, Shahid Beshti Port, whatever you are comfortable, you can use the name. So Shahid Beshti Port will be used as a transit hub. It will link the international north-south transit corridor. By that, we'll be getting a connectivity to the Russia, the Central Asia, and all these particular kind of things. Now guys, when we talk about the Chahabar Port, for so many of the years, the work was struck onto the Chahabar Port. Now what are the reason why the work was so much struck? So you need to understand, there is a little bit background in that capacity also. Basically, Iran. Now the Chahabar Port is in Iran. Now guys, when we talk about the Iran is going for the nuclear enrichment. Iran is going for the nuclear enrichment. In the nuclear enrichment, what they do, they enrich the uranium. And guys, if you enrich the uranium up to a particular level, the uranium, now see, if you enrich the uranium at around 10 to 12% maximum, 10 to 12% maximum, it is a research grade uranium. If you upgrade the uranium to at, let's say, around 8%, around 7 to 8%, it is the uranium which can be used for the power generation. However, if you go enrich the uranium to around 90%, that particular uranium can be used for the nuclear, for making the nuclear bomb, for creating such kind of disastrous nuclear bombs. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that the Iran over the year has enriched their uranium. They have already enriched their uranium to more than around 20%. Now there was a threat that the Iran will enrich the uranium and will be using that particular uranium to make the nuclear bombs. So therefore, on the Iran, there were the sanctions that were imposed by the USA and the Western countries. Now guys, actually what happened way back in 2015, what happened, there was an agreement that was signed, that was the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Now in this Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the Iran agreed that they will not be enriching the uranium beyond a particular level, and they will be opening all their uranium enrichment facilities to the international communities. Okay, so International Atomic Energy International Atomic Energy Authority, moreover the other countries, they can come and they can inspect the uranium enrichment facility of the Iran. That agreement was signed in 2015, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. But what happened in 2018, the Donald Trump, the USA's president, he withdrew from this Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. He said that we will not be continuing in this Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. And after that what happened? Again, the sanctions got imposed on the Iran. Now guys, see, the problem is coming that when we are going to make relations with the Iran, because the Iran has the international sanctions, we are not able to coordinate our actions. Moreover guys, the USA in the past has given a waiver to the India. USA had said that okay, you can go and coordinate with the Iran on the Chahabar Port, because guys, understand, there is also one strategic angle in that. What strategic angle? Basically, when we are developing the Chahabar Port, obviously it will be a response to the Guadar Port that is being constructed by China in the Pakistan. Now USA also has interest to contain the China. In that capacity, USA has approved that okay, you can do that particular thing. But guys, still, whenever we try to procure the machinery for the Chahabar Port, or whenever we tried to get other international corporations, country were very much hesitant, because they feared that on them the USA will impose some kind of a secondary sanctions. So therefore, this particular project has been very much slow. But now guys, what has happened? The Chahabar Port, it is going very basically it is going at full steam. And now recently the Union Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterway has also visited the Chahabar Port and had taken the stock of the progress that is going on. So basically the Chahabar Port is now going to be operational, and all these particular dimensions will be fulfilled by this particular development. So guys, I hope that you have understood this particular article, and I hope that all this particular background, all these particular things are very much clear. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that I say this thing many number of times, but please listen very carefully, that some articles are there which we just don't need to read only what is given there in the newspaper. We want to go and we need to go in depth, and in that capacity this particular background is going to help you. Now guys, after that you don't need to read even a single word beyond this particular article. So not even a single word is needed beyond that. That is more than sufficient. Now we'll move to the next article. Okay, so guys, this is a positive case study. This is a positive case study that can be used in our GS paper number 4 as well as GS paper number 1 social issues. So basically guys, what have happened, let's just see this particular thing in just a minute. So basically what has happened, 11 DTC women bus drivers have been appointed. 11 DTC, Delhi Transport Corporation. Fine, DTC stands for Delhi Transport Corporation. So 11 women drivers have been appointed. Okay, now this particular thing is actually having a very big symbolism. What type of a symbolism? Basically guys, there are the gender stereotypes that are there. Gender stereotypes, what it means? Basically we expect that certain particular type of duties, certain particular type of roles, certain particular type of jobs will only be done by certain type of gender. For example guys, India is a patriarchal society. India is a patriarchal society, and being a patriarchal society, we think that all the jobs, fine, which for example the jobs which needs certain commanding position be done by the male, and the female they are believed to be involved into the caregiving. They should be involved into the caregiving, they should be involved into the domestic responsibilities. So the society has created the gender roles. In the gender roles, decision making roles where the bread winning is there, these roles are to be performed by male, and the role of caregiving, domestic work, these roles are to be done by the female. Now guys, even in that particular capacity, certain jobs are there which are even more masculine. Okay, for example, the job of a driver, okay, it happens to be a even more masculine jobs. Now guys, understand, the jobs also have the nature. There are the masculine jobs, there are the feminine jobs. What are the feminine jobs? I am not saying that they are feminine jobs, but the society has considered them the feminine job. For example, the job of a beautician, it is considered to be a feminine job by the society. Clear? The beautician's job was considered as a feminine job. The job in caregiving, it is considered as a feminine job. Now on the other hand, the jobs such as the job of a driver, it is a masculine job that was considered. Okay, but this particular thing is not correct. This particular thing is creating gender stereotypes, and there is need that we need to break such kind of a gender stereotypes, and these gender stereotypes will only be broken by some positive interventions, as had happened in this particular example. So basically guys, the 11 women, they have assumed the charge of the commercial bus drivers, and this is a very important development in the direction of breaking the gender stereotypes. Okay, breaking the gender stereotypes. Now this particular example can be used as a case study in the GS paper number 4 ethics, as well as can be used in GS paper number 1 social issues. So that is all guys about this particular thing. That's all. I hope you have understood it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Okay, so this is the only thing that you need to understand, and just don't scroll, just equate with this particular background, equate with this particular additional information that we have just discussed. Now moving. Acculturation. Okay, so guys, acculturation. Now this particular article, it's going to be important for GS paper number 1 society, GS paper number 1 society and social issues, Okay, now we'll discuss this entire concept of acculturation. However guys, understand this particular thing, that you don't need to go too much in deep in this particular article. Fine, you need to just see it with the exam point of view. Now first of all, when we talk about the concept of the acculturation, the concept of acculturation was given by American geologist John Wesley Powell. Fine, American geologist John Wesley Powell. Okay, now let's understand that what is this acculturation. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that today when we talk about, for example, the Indian society, when we talk about the Indian society happens to be a multicultural society. Indian society happens to be a multicultural society. It means that a large many cultures, they stay together. Now whenever there is a now understand guys, actually today no society is there monocultural. Okay, very societies are largely the multicultural. It means large number of cultures stay together. So within the multicultural societies, all these words such as the acculturation, assimilation, fine, all these words are coming to be important. Let's understand this. First we have the acculturation. Now what is the acculturation? Guys, it is defined with an idea where, let's take, there are multiple cultures that are existing, cultures that are existing. In acculturation, all the cultures will be getting inspired with the other cultures. They will be getting inspired with the other cultures. They will adopt some of their values, but at the same time they will stay very much true to their own culture, to their own religion, to their own identity. Are you getting it or not? They will be inspired from the other cultures. Culture will come in contact. They will adopt each other's practices, but at the end of the day, they will not forget their own culture. They will be staying true to their culture. Okay, so what will happen? The different cultures stay together. Okay, they come in contact with each other. They adopt each other's values and practice, but still they adopt their own identity. This is the process of acculturation. Now guys, understand this particular thing. It is a two-way process. Where minority will adopt some of the values of the majority culture, and the majority culture will adopt some of the values of the minority culture. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that today you see for example, Urdu language is there, Hindi language is there. Even when the Hindi language is there, the language that we and you are using today, Hindi, it is not the pure Hindi. It has the mix of some Urdu words are there, some Parsi, some Turkish words are there. Even when you talk about the Urdu language, it is a blend of Arabic, it is blend of Persian, it is blend of Turkish, it is blend of Hindi. Okay, so all this particular thing has been there. So basically, this is an example of amalgamation and transmutation. I'll make you understand this transmutation also in few minutes. So the Urdu is an example of transmutation. At the same time, for example, when we talk about Hindi retains its core features. But it has been inspired by many other things. Is it clear or not? When we talk about the cultures in India, there are many of the cultural groups which have got inspired by others, but they have retained their own identity. This is called as the process of acculturation. Then guys, along with the acculturation, there are some different concepts also that comes, and we don't need to get confused within these concepts. So that other concepts also I'm going to explain you here. There is one particular word also that you have heard, that is the assimilation. So acculturation and assimilation, they are very much different. Now what is the assimilation? Let's understand. So guys, assimilation is a process by which there are the minority groups, okay, or there are the small cultural groups. These small cultural groups are absorbed in one big cultural group, okay, and after a period of time, that small culture groups, they are indistinguishable. They become the part of that particular majority groups. Okay, for example, let's say, guys, suppose there is a one big religion, and then there are some fringe cultures that are existing onto the line of this particular religion. Now these groups that are there, these groups will be assimilated in this particular culture over a period of time. This is called as assimilation. Clear? This is called as assimilation. These cultures are called as minuscule, and they will be merged there. Assimilation. Then guys, the next is the separation. Now what is the separation? In the separation, let's say that there are the different cultures that are living together in a society. All of them will maintain their distinct boundaries. There will be no intermingling, there will be no fusion, nothing. They will maintain the distinct boundaries. For example guys, and to explain this particular thing, we also have the salad ball model. Now what is the salad ball model? It is a model of society. For example, in the salad ball, you have the different kind of elements together. You have the tomato, you have cucumber, you have all the elements together. Now all of them, they look distinct, they taste distinct, their texture is different, and they are not concerned with fusing with each other, though they are at same place, but they maintain their independent identity. So this is separation, where the cultures will be there, they maintain their different identity. Okay, so guys, I'll put all these three together up till now. In acculturation, what will happen? The cultures will get inspired with each other. They will learn each other's value, but at the same time, they will maintain their independent identity also. Then in assimilation, what will happen? There will be a big culture and the small cultures will be fused in that particular big culture. Then what will happen in the separation? In separation, there will be the different cultures, all will stay in, they will stay in their own territory. They will not be intermingling with each other. They will maintain their clear separation. That is the separation. Then guys, there is also one particular word that comes, that is the marginalization. Now what is the marginalization? So guys, basically in marginalization, there is, let's say, one particular culture, then there are another cultures also that are existing. Now these particular cultures will be kept very isolated, it will be kept very separated. These cultures will neither be allowed to assimilate there. These particular cultures will not be acculturized. Are you getting it or not? The fusion will not be there, exchange of values will not be there. These cultures will always be existing onto the boundaries, and therefore what will happen, this particular group will be pushed onto the corners of society. They will be forgotten by the rest, they will be forgotten by the main community. So there will be no interaction, they will barely interact with these new cultural groups that had come. So basically these groups which you can see here in the red, all of them will become marginalized. Okay, so the marginalization is different from the assimilation, because assimilation, they were being made the part of a one big group. So that is marginalization. Fine. Now guys, there is one more, that is the transmutation of culture. Now what is this particular word, transmutation? Let's understand that. So basically guys, a transmutation. Okay, now in this what will happen, there will be the two different cultures. Okay, now what will happen, these two cultures will not integrate in each other. It will not, suppose this is culture A, this is culture B. Neither the culture A will become the part of culture B, nor the culture B will become the part of culture A. They will not be integrating in between. But what happen, over a period of time, the culture A will acquire certain values, culture B will acquire certain other values, and over a period of time, these culture A and culture B will both fuse together, and another culture, that is a culture C, will be made. A culture, another a kind of an entirely different culture, that is a culture C, will be prepared. Is it clear or not? So this is something that is going to happen. Just a minute. Okay, so this particular the culture A and culture B will not amalgamate within each other. What will happen, different cultures, fine, they will adopt the different values, and a unique blend, a third type of a culture C, will be created. This is the transmutation, and this third culture will have some values of A, will have some values of B, and there are some another values will also be there. So this is the transmutation. So guys, this is actually a very, very important topic and a very big concept of your Indian society GS paper number 1. I hope that the difference is clear, and this particular text also has been given here. You can download this particular PDF and can revise and read this particular text again for the sake of more better clarity. So that is all about this article. Now we'll move to the next article. Sex ratio at birth normalizes slightly study. Sex ratio at birth normalizes slightly study. Now guys, before going in this particular article, first of all, this particular article will be important for GS paper number 1 and GS paper number 2. In GS paper number 1, social issues, and in GS paper number 2, issues, developmental issues, social justice, fine, sex ratio. This particular article is going to be important. Now guys, let's discuss this particular article. Before that, first of all, let's take little bit of a background. So guys, basically there are two concepts. One is the sex ratio. Now what is the sex ratio? Sex ratio is that how many female per male are there. For example, when we talk about the census of 2011, there are 943 female per 1000 male. That is the sex ratio. Then guys, along with the sex ratio, there is one more concept, that is the sex ratio at birth. Okay, listen very carefully, it is a very important topic. Sex ratio at birth. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that basically sex ratio at birth, there are two concepts here. There is the natural sex ratio at birth, first of all, and then there is the sex ratio at birth which is interfered sex ratio at birth. First of all, natural sex ratio at birth, what does it mean? Guys, understand this particular thing. By nature, more number of male have been preferred at per female. if you don't do any intervention, if you don't do any number of any particular thing, what will be happening? There will be 105 male that will be born for every 100 female. So nature had given more preference to the male child. 105 male will be born and 100 female will be born. This is called as the natural sex ratio at birth. Without any interference, this is happening. Ideally, this should happen in every society. Clear? When you don't do any intervention, this should happen. Then guys, there will be certain there could be interfered sex ratio at birth. What can happen? You know, in India we have sex preference. We have the sex preference, or there you can say that in India there is the son meta preference. Son meta preference. What is this son meta preference? The families, they prefer a male child because the male child will be taking forward their vansh, will be taking forward their family. So there is a preference for the male child, and in that capacity, what happens? There are the female feticide that happen when a woman is pregnant. During that particular pregnancy, an ultrasound will be carried, and through that ultrasound, the people, they try to ascertain that what is the sex of that particular child, and if that child is female, that particular child will be aborted. There will be the feticide that will happen. So basically we are doing interference into this natural sex ratio at birth, and actually what happens, the male, their number goes up, the male, their number goes up, okay, and the female, their number goes down, So when we talk about the sex ratio at birth, the natural sex ratio at birth needs to be 105 for 100, but actual sex ratio at birth is different in India. Now guys, understand this particular thing. There is one more concept that come. I hope that this concept is clear, because this is the background that you need to have in order to understand this particular article. Clear? Fine. So I hope it is clear. Now basically guys, there is one particular concept of the missing girls, concept of the missing baby girls. What is the missing baby girls concept? It means how number of girls. See, I have already told you that in India we have the son bias, son preference. So females are being killed, female feticide is there. So basically there are certain number of female that are missing every year because they have simply been killed, they have simply been carried, they have been aborted. So basically there are certain number of missing women that are there in India. What is the missing women? Now understand this particular thing. 4.8 lakh missing women were there in 2010. It means that these many girls, now I told you that there is a mismatch. There is a mismatch between the sex ratio. There are more number of male and there are less number of female. Now this particular mismatch, how many female are missing? So there were 4,80,000 missing female in 2010 for that year only. Okay, now this particular number has reduced to 4,10,000. So missing females, their number is reducing, and as it is reducing, what it means, it is a positive kind of thing. So in India, the sex selective abortions that were being carried, they have little bit come down. Now guys, where this particular problem of sex selective abortions and all these kind of things started? This particular problem started around the 1970s. Basically guys, if I tell you at 1950, India was very much good in terms of the sex ratio. Our standard was comparable with the Western countries. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that even in 1970s, you please focus on the line that I am highlighting. Even in 1970, India's sex ratio was at par with the global average of 105 and 100. Okay, we were at par with the global average, but the situation started to become problematic in 1970. What happened? In 1970, diagnostic technologies which allowed for the sex selective abortion, they came. Now actually in 1971, there are two things that are happening side by side. In 1971, the abortion became legalized in India. The abortion became legalized in India, and around 1980 the ultrasound technologies etc. they came. Ultrasound technologies etc. came. Before 1980, it was not possible to go for ultrasound. Okay, and because ultrasound was not there, it was not possible that how you will be ascertaining the sex of a child. Okay, it was not possible. But after 1980, it became possible. So people, they used they used two laws together. They used the abortion law as well as they used the ultrasound technologies, and in that capacity, the females were killed. Is it clear or not? That happened. And guys, by 2011, what happened? Our ratio became very much bad. Our ratio became very much bad. There are 111 boys and 100 girls. 111 boys and 100 girls. Ideally, ये कितना होना चाहिए था? Ideally it should be 105 and 100. What happened? Boys become 111. Is it clear or not? So why this difference? Difference is because that the female are being aborted and the male are being preferred. So male increase more, female went down. Now what has happened? This particular ratio is improving now. This ratio is now improving because the government is doing many interventions, government has taken many initiatives. So this ratio is now improving. Now guys, what is the ratio at present? Please focus very carefully. Now I am going to highlight. Please see very carefully. So basically, just a minute. Fine. So we had 100 just a minute, 100 boys per 100 girls in 2011 census. After that it improved and 100 it became 109 boys for 100 girls when in the 2015-16 National Family Health Survey. So 2015-16 we got the fourth National Family Health Survey, so it became 109, and now we got the fifth National Family Health Survey and it has come to 108. It has come to 108. Today 108 boys are there for 100 girls. So it is going down. Ideally it should go at what number? Ideally it should go at what number? Guys, just please comment down immediately. Ideally it should go at which number? Okay, we have reached, earlier it was 101 in the census of 2011, then it went to 109 in the National Family Health Survey 4, then it went to 108 in the National Family Health Survey 5. Okay, I am waiting for your comment. Please comment down. Ideally it should go at which number? Okay, from 108 it should go to which number? Okay, so it should go at 105. It should go at 105. Very good, Aishwarya. It should go at 105. Okay, so this is an improvement that is going on. Basically, the missing girls, they were 4,80,000 total at entire country level. There were 4,80,000 missing girls. Now it has reduced to 4,10,000. Okay, that is the entire concept. So this is improving. Now, who had provided that such an improve is there? This report has been provided by the Pew Research Center. This report has been provided by the Pew Research Center. Is it clear or not? Fine. So that is the case. Okay. So guys, I hope that it is, you have understood. Okay. Meenu. Okay. Kumar Sen, Harsh, Tania, Komal. Good. Everybody good. Okay. So this is the entire concept. Okay. Then I'll be moving to, okay, there have been some another doubts also. Okay, the difference between separation and marginalization. The separation and marginalization difference is that separation, both groups want to stay together. Both are equally important. Both want to stay together. Marginalization, there is one group and then there are the small groups. Small groups will be kept on margins. They will not be allowed to intermingle. So they will become ignored. Okay, there is one more. What is the difference between solid ball? Dear, it is not solid ball, it's salad ball and melting pot. Okay, now salad ball, melting pot, mosaic. Okay, so that doubt is little bit different. Okay, so I will be clarifying. You just contact me separately on the Telegram. Okay, now reviewing remission. Okay, reviewing remission. Now basically guys, this particular article corresponds to a recent development that happened. Okay, now before going in this particular article, we'll see this particular article with respect to the GS paper number 2. GS paper number 2, issues related to polity. GS paper number 2, issues related to polity. Now moving on. Okay, see, basically recently what has happened, there was the Bilkis Bano case that was in the news. Now we'll understand this particular Bilkis Bano. First of all, this particular case has become little bit politicized, and because it has become little bit politicized, you don't need to go too much into the detail in this particular Bilkis Bano. Fine. Now guys, what happened? There were the 11 of the men who were convicted that they have killed 7 people. They have raped a pregnant woman. And in these particular killings, they also kill a minor girl also. So these were all the charges that were imposed on these 11 people. Now these 11 people have now been given a remission. Now they have been given a remission. Remission means that their jail term has been reduced. So they have been given remission and now they have come out of the jail. Now in this particular capacity, the decision is given by the Gujarat. The decision has been given by the Gujarat. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that basically this particular entire issue is becoming now criticized, it is becoming politicized. Now first of all, when we talk about this Bilkis Bano case, basically this case pertains to 2002 Gujarat riots. This case belongs to 2002 Gujarat riots. At this point of time, in this particular case, these 11 people were arrested. They were accused of these murders and these particular rapes. Now, what happened at that point of a time, Supreme Court said that this particular case is to be transferred to the Maharashtra so that this particular case can be decided objectively. So the case was of Gujarat, but it got transferred to the Maharashtra. And at that point of a time, these 11 people, they were given the life sentence. These people were given the life sentence. Okay, that thing happened. Now guys, a question came that now these people, they have spent already 15 years in the jail. These people have spent around 15 years in the jail. So can they be given the remission? Can they be given the remission? Remission means can their punishment be reduced or not? Now guys, understand this particular thing. First of all, the question comes. Now there are certain questions. Question number 1, who will decide on their remission? Who will decide on their remission? Will the remission be decided by the Maharashtra or will the remission be decided by the Gujarat? Will the Maharashtra High Court or will the Gujarat High Court be deciding on the remission? Now the answer, Supreme Court has provided that the remission will be taken by the Gujarat. Why? Because this offense, this crime happened in the Gujarat. So Gujarat will take. Now guys, the question number 2, when we talk about the remission policy, there are the 2 remission policies in Gujarat. One is the policy of 1992 and other is the policy of 2014. Now guys, in 1992, after 14 years of jail has been finished, the remission can be asked, and even the people who have been convicted of rape, they can be given remission. They can be given remission as per this 1992 policy. But when we talk about the 2014 policy of Gujarat, there the people who have been convicted of the rape, they cannot be given remission. Now, these 11 people who were convicted, will they be tried under 1992 policy or 2014 policy? This was a question. Why this was a question? Because guys, see, their conviction happened in 2008. At that point of a time, 1992 policy was in place. But after 2014, this new policy has come. They are asking remission now, let's say in 2022. So whether 1992 policy or 2014 policy, which policy will be coming in between? So the Supreme Court has provided that the 1992 remission policy will be coming in between. It means that they can be given the remission even when the rape was concerned. That was there. Clear. And now guys, what had happened, these 11 people, they have been given remission, they have been released from the jail. But guys, still there is some matter of illegality that is coming in between. The first matter that comes here is that the state government, made a decision, state government finally gave an approval for the remission, but they had made this particular decision without consulting the center. Now there is the section 435 of the CRPC. Section 435 of the CRPC, and this section 435 provides that if any case has been investigated by the CBI, then you have to consult with the center, and this particular case was investigated by the CBI, and therefore as per section 435 of CRPC, the Gujarat government has to consult with the center, but they have not done this particular thing. Then guys, the second thing is that basically the committee that recommended the remission of these people, this particular committee convicted 2 of the BJP legislators. So there is also the political, this committee could be politically inclined. Now ideally the remission committee, which is to be constituted by the government, it should constitute the senior government officials representing the Ministry of Home or the Ministry of Law. They needs to be there. After that, a district judge needs to be there. Then the prison superintendent and the officers who deal with the probation and rehabilitation of offenders in the jail, they needs to be there. But what happened here, the political members were there. So there could be a political inclination also. So therefore this particular question is there. Now guys, the petition has been filed in the Supreme Court. Petition has been filed in the Supreme Court, that the Supreme Court see that whether the remission that has been given, is it right or not, and the Supreme Court will be coming out with this decision in a time. But till then guys, these people have been given a remission. So this is guys the entire issue that has happened. Okay, and that's all about this particular issue. Guys, I hope that you have understood this particular thing. Okay, and now we'll be moving to the next article. The implications of the 5G rollout for law enforcement. Now this particular article we have taken from the editorial section, and this article will be important for GS paper number 2, because how the law enforcement will be getting impacted by the 5G, it is being discussed. Now guys, understand one particular thing. 5G, it is a topic of GS3 science and technology. 5G is a topic of GS paper number 3 science and technology. Okay, but the law enforcement is a topic of GS paper number 2 polity. Now the impact of 5G on the law enforcement is being discussed. Okay, so at the end of the day in GS2, or you want, you can keep it in GS paper number 3 also, as you like. Now moving on. So basically guys, the 5G, 5th generation 5G deployment is starting in India. Now guys, already the spectrum has been allocated by the 5G internet by the government. Okay, the allocation has been distributed. The tests and the trial of the 5G has been already conducted, and now the government is saying that they will be coming out with the 5G. 5G rollout will be there soon. Okay, now guys, when we talk about the 5G internet, the 5G internet technology is promising on multiple number of fronts. Number one, for the people, it will enhance the efficiency. It will enhance the efficiency of the internet. It will bring more productivity. Now guys, understand this particular thing. I will try to give you a lot of background also. There is a word, Internet of Things. Now what is Internet of Things? Internet of Things means integrating the internet with the day-to-day objects. For example, integrating the internet with your daily life of appliances. Now guys, understand this particular thing. I'll give you one basic example of Internet of Things. For example, you have a refrigerator. In the refrigerator, there is a particular section where you keep milk. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that today you have many of the delivery apps. For example, you have Zepto, you have a Blinkit, etc. Now they can do instant delivery. Now suppose the milks, or let's say the egg in your refrigerator are finished, then your refrigerator is connected with the internet. It can directly place an order with the Zepto. It can directly place an order with the Blinkit, and that particular egg or milk or vegetables will be delivered to you. Now what's happening in this particular capacity? You don't need to do any particular thing. Fine, all this particular thing, all this process has become automated. Now for this entire operation, we need to have a very efficient and very fast internet, and the 5G can help in this particular direction. So when we talk about the 5G, it will bring the productivity. Okay, now this point is not there in this article, so you need to substitute these particular things at your own. Okay, so the productivity will be enhanced, then the security will be enhanced, as it will help the police in investigation. The police will get the critical information in real time by the 5G. Clear? Now guys, it has been provided that when we talk about the 5G has a low latency. Now guys, let's say I am streaming this particular video live. Sometimes the video might be getting struck. Why? Because there is a latency issue. Now this latency issue is there in the 4G. In 5G, such latency will not be there. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that today they are wearing these body cams. Okay, they are having these facial recognition technologies. Just day before yesterday, we have already discussed this facial recognition technology. Okay, I hope that you have seen the day before yesterday's newspaper. I have explained you in a lot of detail. So these FRTs, body cams. Now guys, there is automatic number plate recognition. Now you might be seeing this particular thing, that there are the cameras that are installed. These cameras track your vehicle by your number plate. Automatic detection is there. Drones. Now drones are being used particularly by the Delhi police for many of the investigation, for the surveillance. Okay, the CCTVs are being used. Now guys, the CCTVs are not just recording the video. These videos are being shown in the real time at the police headquarters and all that. So all these particular things will become effective once the 5G technology will come. the 5G can also transmit the clearer pictures. Now guys, sometimes let's say the police it got a video of a person doing some crime, but sometimes the video is not clear. Why? Because the bandwidth of the 4G internet right now is less, so 5G can provide better high quality resolution pictures, videos. That particular thing will simplify the job of the police officers. Then the secure communications of the police can also be there between the civilians, emergency responders. Police can communicate with each other through the 5G technology. So secured communication and more effective communication the police can do by using this 5G technology. So therefore the 5G technology has a lot of these particular advantages, but at the same time there are the challenges also in the 5G technology that's coming. Now what are the challenges? Challenges is that number one, the problem is that police can use 5G, but before that police needs to have the compatible devices. They need to at least have the computers, the software, the hardware, such kind of a systems which can use the 5G. Okay, it's simply like this, that okay, I am having a mobile phone, but this mobile phone is only having 3G. So what the 5G will be of my usage? Okay, so police needs to have, in order to take the full advantage, they need to have the compatible hardware, they need to have compatible systems, they need to have compatible softwares. Right now they are having outdated systems, so this is the big problem. Then the next problem that comes is the cyber security concerns are there in India. Now guys, see, in India we have a very shaky kind of a cyber security foundation. You getting it or not? There are the cyber hackers who have become very much sensitive, who have become very much sophisticated, but at the same time we have not developed a good cyber security regime. Now see, this 5G is not only for you and me, this 5G is available only also for the hackers. Now these hackers, they can use the 5G and can carry more sensitive, they can carry even more sophisticated cyber attacks, botnet attacks, fine, then the denial of services attack, man in the middle attacks. Okay, so all these particular sophisticated attacks on the cyber security infrastructure can also be made. After that guys, as of now the 5G, it lacks end-to-end encryption. As of now end-to-end encryption is not there. Later words it will come. Now what is end-to-end encryption? Suppose I am sending information, I am Mr. A and sending information to Mr. B. Now when the information will flow, it will be encrypted. Encrypted means that this particular information cannot be read by any other person. There is an encryption key that is needed. Okay, then this information is secure. But the 5G right now end-to-end encryption is not there. So hackers, they can basically retrieve information and they can basically use that particular information for some illegal activities. Then guys, the next thing that is coming is that when we talk about the 5G technologies can be used to conceal the activities, to mask the locations. Criminal will use that particular thing. Criminal can carry the real-time communication with each other. Let's say there are the two criminals, they want to do some crime. Now these criminals, they can coordinate more effectively by using this 5G fast communication. The terrorist can use the 5G. Now guys, see, many times the terrorist had carried many of the attacks where they are coordinating with each other. That coordination will become effective by the 5G. Now many times basically the terrorist masterminds, they have to physically travel to basically plan some kind of attack or such kind of a thing. Now they don't need to do that particular thing. Fine, the 5G technology can make the work easy for them also. So these are some of the threats of the 5G, and at the law enforcement the 5G is going to bring some kind of a problem. So guys, therefore what is the way forward? What is the way forward that we need? So in the way forward there are certain suggestions that can be given. Now what are the suggestions? Number one, it is provided that the police needs to be trained so that they can recognize the 5G enabled crimes. Fine, they first of all should be able to use 5G technology, and then they should be able to and identify the 5G enabled crimes, how the 5G technologies can be used in the crime. Then second is there needs to be the training programs specifically for the cyber crimes. Okay, such programs needs to be there. Then guys, 5G crime monitoring task force is to be established. There needs to be a separate wing in the cyber crime where 5G crime monitoring task force is to be there so that they can identify these kind of things. Then there needs to be the regulations. There needs to be the regulation, there needs to be the new laws, particularly the cyber laws needs to be strengthened. Okay, then guys, it has been provided that basically the regulations should also require telecom companies to allow police officers to access their equipment to track the location of victims. Now meanwhile, I told you already that the police is not having equipment, so they should be allowed to use the equipment of the telecom operators. Are you getting? So track the victims, to identify the identity of a person, to control the crime and all these kind of things. And then guys, next it has been provided that the law enforcement agencies need to evolve the strategies to identify the victims of the 5G facilitated crime, the old people, the ones who don't have a cyber literacy, okay, or anybody who is victim of the 5G crime, they should also be provided some kind of a support. This is the entire issue that has come in this particular article. So guys, I hope that you have understood it, and now we'll move to the next article. Okay, so guys, this article we have done a very comprehensive and very expansive kind of coverage. Okay, so I hope that you have understood all this. Fine, moving to the next. Are freebies a way to mask state inaction? And there is one more article that has come. All on one side, everybody want freebie. Now these two articles are on the freebie, so therefore this article is going to be important in GS paper number 2. GS paper number 2, welfare, topic of welfare, within the topic of welfare, the topic of freebie. Okay, now let's discuss this particular article. First of all guys, little bit of a background as we do in every article. So basically, what do we first of all mean by this particular word freebie? Freebie means any irrational promise or any entitlement that has been promised to the people, but actually it is not very much productive. Actually it is not going to bring any enhancement into the productivity of people. For example, promising a person that if I come to power, I will give you, let's say, an air conditioner. If I come to power, I will give you a gold ring. Okay, so all these are the irrational promises that are made by the political parties. They are called as freebie. Now when we talk about the freebie puts a lot of debt burden onto the state, and therefore, if right now I tell you, according to the RBI report, the state governments have a debt of more than 15 lakh crore rupees. So these freebies contribute more in that particular debt burden. Secondly, when we talk about the freebie basically diverts the voter from real and genuine developmental issues. Recently, then thirdly, the Prime Minister had called this particular freebie culture as Revdi culture. Okay. So the freebies are called as the Revdi culture, and Prime Minister had said that we should not be getting deviated by this particular Revdi culture. But when we talk about the freebie, there is one particular problem, that freebie and social justice, how you will be differentiate between the two things. For example guys, there was a study that was carried in the Oxford. I have discussed this Oxford study in one of editorial also just 3 days back. Now this Oxford study studied that whether giving the TV to the women, it is a freebie or it is a genuine social justice program. Now the Oxford study provided that actually giving the TV to the women is not a freebie. It is not a freebie, rather it is a social justice program. Because understand this particular thing, the women in the rural areas who are bound within their homes, who have never seen the outside world, for them this particular TV is a way to connect with the outside world. They getting more aware. Many times guys, the children had to go to the neighbor's house to watch the TV. It brings an inferiority complex into the children, but when they have the TV at their own home, they don't feel that inferiority complex, that realization of inequality doesn't happen. So the children, their cognitive development happens in a better way. So even the TV that have been always called as freebie, Oxford University's research says that no, it was a good thing. So what is a freebie and what is actually desirable social justice program? There is a very much confusion in that. So this is the entire issue. Now guys, please keep this particular background in your mind, very very important. Now let's discuss this particular article. So basically guys, when we talk about the freebies, today the freebies are being promised by every political party. In 1967, the Tamil Nadu party, the DMK party, they promised 1 kg at 1 rupees 4.5 kg of rice, 3 measures of rice. 3 measures means 4.5 kg. So 4.5 kg rice at 1 rupees was promised. After that, parties, they've started promising gas stoves, TVs, laptops, free payment for the household work, gold jewelries and all these kind of things. Now guys, today what has happened, the state government, for example the Delhi government, it is offering the free water, free electricity. Okay, in the Himachal Pradesh government is offering free electricity. Okay, all these particular things, free bus travel, all these particular things are being promised. Now the question is there that actually is this freebie bringing the welfare or not? Now first of all, what is the welfare welfareism. Welfareism is a political philosophy which has been prominent in both India and the West, and the welfareism provides that the most important responsibility of the government is to make sure that the common people's well-being is taken care of. They are being provided the maximum benefit. Okay, so that is the welfareism. The state is a welfareist state today. Now guys, understand this particular thing. Today when we talk about the government, even the center government and the state government, they are providing even the private goods at the government cost. For example, the LPG. LPG is a private good which is being provided by the government at subsidized prices. So this is something that is happening. Now guys, when government is providing these freebies, these private goods, it has one negative implication also. What is the negative implication? See this particular thing. Government, rather than building the public assets, rather than government building the social capacity. Now guys, what is social capacity? You give me a skill. If you give me a skill, I can earn for my entire life. So build my social capacity, give me skill, give a better infrastructure so that the entire economy of a country can be improved. So rather than building infrastructure, rather than building social capacity, rather than focusing on society, policy makers are simply providing the direct transfers, welfareism, free goods. It is not actually good into the long term as per by the opinion. Now guys, it has been provided that many governments, they have got a lot of debt. For example, Andhra Pradesh spends 1.62 lakh crore rupees on various welfares, on various schemes where much of these goods and services are being provided. Punjab is now offering free electricity, which will increase the burden. So guys, it is provided, but at the same time there are certain goods also which should not be confused as freebie. They are very much important. For example, free food to the school, free food for the students at school. For example, midday meal school, giving subsidized education, giving subsidized health. They are even actually good kind of a thing. So these are essentials, they should be given, but every freebie should not be given. Okay, so we need to make this particular we need to make this particular clarification as what is needed and what is not needed. Freebies are not needed. Genuine social justice and social welfare programs are needed. They should be given. Now guys, understand this particular thing, but this is the exactly problem. What is essential or what is a freebie? This is exactly the problem. Now understand this particular thing, that you should be allowed to give certain commodities to the people on certain grounds, on the basis of certain grounds only if they are being met. What are the grounds? Number one, government debt to GDP ratio is very much important. If some government is having a lot of debt, okay, if they are having a lot of debt, they should not be allowed to give these particular essential items even. Revenue expenditure as a percentage of government income, what their income is and what their revenue expenditure is. So it should not breach a particular level. It should not breach a particular level. Then the next is being provided that a transfer towards capital expenditure should be prioritized over other schemes. Okay, capital expenditure. Now guys, the capital expenditure are those expenditures, for example the capital expenditures are those which build asset. For example, school building, highway building, port building. These are the capital expenditures. If you invest on these capital expenditure, at the end of the day it will generate employment, and as it will generate employment, that will bring good in the long term. So the capital expenditures need to be more prioritized. Then there should be a debate on this culture of entitlement even in the voters. Voters should also think that whether these things are needed or not. Okay. And then guys, there is one more article. The Supreme Court has also provided that what is the take on the freebie. Supreme Court has provided that all are on one side. Everybody wants freebie. The people want freebie. The political parties want to give freebie. Everybody wants to give freebie. The Supreme Court has provided this particular thing that we never intended to make judicial law on the freebie. Supreme Court said that we don't want to ban freebie. We don't want to allow freebie. Simply, we want to make that the parliament should discuss this matter on the freebie, and the parliament only should do that particular thing. Parliament should discuss this particular background. The Chief Justice had said a very good thing. Chief Justice of India had said that what may look freebie to urban population, to rich population, but that particular thing could be very much important for a poor person. For example, giving a shaving kit. Giving a shaving kit could look a freebie to a rich urban person, but guys, giving a shaving kit to a barber is very important. Giving a bicycle for a student is very much important. Equipment for a toddy tapers, or giving an iron to a washerman. So giving an iron to a washerman, giving a shaving kit to a barber, giving a cycle to a student, they might look freebie to a rich urban person, but they are actually essentials. Okay, it has been provided that the Chief Justice of India provided that you elite lawyers cannot understand. These are the issues which are to be studied nationwide. Very beautiful thing. Okay, so this is something that is to be done. Is it clear or not? So that's all about this particular article. So guys, we have discussed a lot comprehensive discussion, a very comprehensive discussion. And if you have seen this particular thing, I don't think that you need to go beyond it. Okay, all the dimensions are there. Okay, I'll take the doubts. Meanwhile, strict law is imperative. Yes, very good. Strict law is imperative. Are PC or mobile comes under IoT? See, PC and mobiles are not the internet of things technically. They are the full-fledged internet devices. Okay. Sir, I am from Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra, so many promises are there. Yes. Delhi is giving everything free. Still, its GDP is higher. Okay, that is also viewpoint. Correct. Now, moving on. The case of the missing scientific Indian. The case of missing scientific Indian. Now guys, this particular article, it talks about that in India, the scientific literacy has been very much less. Now this particular article will be seeing with respect to the GS paper number 3. GS paper number 3, Science and Technology and Innovation. Science and Technology and Innovation. Now it is not a hardcore science and technology article. It is not giving any hardcore scientific concept, but it is talking about a general view on the science and technology landscape in India. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about India, India has failed to provide the scientific literacy. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that the pseudoscience has been a very important thing. Even the scientists, few years back, there was a National Science Congress, and in that Congress, the mythologies were being discussed, all these things, fictional things were being discussed. So in India, pseudoscience has been there. It has been provided that India failed to imbibe the scientific literacy not only into the public but even into the scientists themselves. Now it has been provided that India, first of all, has made very much big advancements. For example, the significant scientific advancements have been made in the research field, molecular biology, agriculture, pharmaceutical science, solid state chemistry, okay, space, nuclear science, information technology. All these particular developments have been there. We have ISRO, okay, we have ISRO, which is a kind of one of the most premium organization, not in India, in the entire world. But at the same time, the general community, the scientific literacy have been very much less. We brought Article 51A in the Constitution. Fundamental duty was added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and one of a fundamental duty talked about infusing the scientific temperament in the people, humanism, spirit of inquiry. But actually, the spirit of inquiry has not got properly inculcated in the people. The people are still driven by the superstition. The people are still driven by many of the rudimentary beliefs, notions, etc. Now guys, the article says that the scientists, even many times, they have half-heartedly stood up for the scientific causes even when the situation have demanded them. Are you getting it or not? Even the scientists have not. Now guys, basically belief in many of the pseudosciences have increased. So it has been provided that the pseudoscience is everywhere. Even the scientists, they are not coming out very outrightly in the support of climate change, evolution theory, secret of diversity, all these particular kind of things. So therefore it has been provided that science is a way of thinking. Science is a way of thinking, is not just the body of knowledge. Irrationality has created a distorted worldview, and it is a responsibility of the scientists that they should come, and rather than this distorted worldview, they need to provide an objective worldview. So the scientist communities, the aware citizens, they need to come and they need to uphold the science in the face of superstitions and all these ritualisms, etc. So this is something, a kind of a very general take that has been given in this particular article. So that is all about this particular issue. Fine, I hope that you have understood. It was a general take. Now moving to the next article. Binami law can't be applied retrospectively, Supreme Court. Now this is a very important article. Okay guys, so today there are so many important articles. I think that today's newspaper was a kind of a gold mine of content for the UPSC aspirants. Okay, so first of all, when there are the more content, don't just see that content that okay, today you got a lot of burden. Rather see that it is an opportunity that you can learn even more good concepts. Okay, now this particular article will see with respect to the GS paper number 3, as well as GS paper number 2. So in GS paper number 3, Binami transactions, the economic issues, and in GS paper number 2, fine, the Supreme Court and judicial review, power of Supreme Court. There we'll see this particular article. Now before going in this particular article, let me tell you some of a background. So guys, there are the Binami transactions that are there. Binami transactions. What is a Binami transaction? First of all, you should know this Binami transaction. Suppose there is Mr. A. Mr. A has a lot of black money. Black money is one on which he had not. Now, black money is the money that he has not declared to the government. He had not paid taxes on that particular black money. So he had a lot of black money. Now obviously he cannot use that particular black money to buy anything, because if he will buy, let's say if he'll buy land, government will come and government will ask that, okay, how you are buying land, you don't have so much of money, how you got the money to buy the land? Government will not allow him to buy the land. So what this Mr. A will do, okay, Mr. A will be finding one person, let's say Mr. B. Now suppose Mr. B is relative of Mr. A. Mr. B is relative of Mr. A. Are you getting it or not? Now basically what will happen, the Mr. A property will be bought. A property will be bought. Are you getting it or not? And the property's registry will be made in the name of Mr. B. Suppose Mr. B has some decent income. Mr. B had some decent income. Now the property is being bought by the Mr. A's money. The property is being bought by the Mr. A's money, and the registry is being made into the name of Mr. B. Who actually paid? The payment was done by Mr. A. Who is the real beneficiary? Real beneficiary is Mr. A. But in whose name the property has been bought? Property has been bought in the name of Mr. B. So this property is called as a Binami property. This property is called as a Binami property, and this transaction is called as the Binami transaction. Now guys, in the past what has happened, people got land registered into the name of many of their relatives, even the distant relatives, they have done that particular thing. One more reason is that, see, if I will have a lot of land in my name, if I will have a lot of land, lot of property in my name, that particular thing will invite the eyeballs of many other people also. So also these Binami transactions are done. Now guys, in order to ban these Binami transactions, there is the Binami Transaction Prohibition Act. Okay, in order to ban Binami transactions, there is the Binami Transaction Prohibition Act. Okay, just a minute. There is Binami Transactions Prohibition Act of 1988. Now this particular act bans all these particular Binami transactions. Now in the Binami transaction, particular issue that's going on. There is one particular issue that's going on. Now the issue is that, guys, actually in 2016, one amendment was brought in this Binami Transaction Act. What was this particular amendment that came in 2016? Okay, now this particular amendment was brought some changes in the section 3 subclause 2 and the section 5 of the Binami Transactions Act of 2016. Okay, now the section 3 subclause 2 mandated 3-year imprisonment for those who have entered into the Binami transactions between 1988 and 2016. Now guys, understand this particular thing. Basically what has happened, basically the retrospective punishment was provided. Okay, in 2016 basically one particular change was brought, and it is providing the punishment since 1988. Retrospective punishment is being provided. Now this particular provision was challenged. Okay, this provision was challenged. It was said that it is violating the Article 20 subclause 1 of the Constitution. Now what is Article 21 of the Article 20 of the Constitution? It provides that there cannot be basically a person should not be convicted for an offense which was not in the force at the time when that particular offense was committed. Okay, so that was the Article 20 subclause 1. So therefore now what was happened, actually in 2016 when the amendment was made in the Binami Transaction Act, retrospective punishment was provided, punishment from the back date. But Article 20 subclause 1 directly provides that there is there cannot be, a person cannot be punished for a crime which he a person cannot be convicted for an offense which was not in force at a time when the offense was committed. So this is the thing that happened. So therefore, in order to protect this Article 20, in order to protect the fundamental right under Article number 20, now Supreme Court has provided that the ban retrospectively, it cannot be applied from the back date. Is it clear? So this is something that has happened. So you can see that the Supreme Court provided that this particular thing was a violation of Article 20 of the Constitution, that a person should not be convicted for an offense which was not in force at the time of commission. So this is something you don't need to go too much in detail in this particular thing. Fine, it is just a kind of a judgment that has been given by the Supreme Court on this Binami from retrospective application. Just that is more than sufficient. Now moving to the next article. Technology companies vary of law on digital competition. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about, now this particular article will be important for GS paper number 3. technology, regulation, technology, regulation. Now see, guys, when we talk about the markets, the markets earlier were physical. The markets earlier were the physical markets. Now in the physical market, the competition happens to be very important, because guys, when there will be a lot of competition, the consumer, his welfare will be there, because when there is a competition, pricing will be decent, good quality service will be given. So in physical markets, the competition was very much important, and in order to ensure the competition, there is the Competition Commission of India that is there. But guys, today the markets are not physical, the markets have also become digital. For example, there is the App Store, there is a Google Play Store, on Android, there is App Store onto the Apple. These digital markets, many times guys, the competition laws for these digital markets are not there. So therefore, there is a standing committee on the finance, and the standing committee on the finance has provided that, Didi, 1 minute rukna. So the Standing Committee on Finance has provided this particular thing, that we want to bring the competition law also for the digital market. Recently, the European Union has passed this Digital Markets Act, Digital Services Act, and through this Digital Market Act, Digital Services Act, they are trying to regulate the digital market. Digital players such as the Apple, Google, etc., all are being trying to be regulated. So basically, this is something that is happening. But for the digital markets, there is no such kind of a competition law. So therefore, the Standing Committee on the Finances will submit its report, and in this report they will provide that how competition law for the digital market can be brought. So this report will be submitted in few days, and when it will be submitted, we'll see that what are the findings of this particular report. So we'll see that. Till then, no need to go too much into the detail. Sir, retrospective tax means going to the back date. Is it clear or not? So that is all guys about this particular article. So with this, we come to an end to the today's newspaper analysis. So a lot of content was there. Please do read it and please do revise it. So that is all for today. Now we'll meet tomorrow. Till then guys, please take care of yourself, and if you liked, please do hit the like button. Please do leave your comment, and please do subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Now we'll meet tomorrow. So we'll be going live tomorrow around 6:15 a.m. So that is all. Thank you so much.